Wendy Schultz here, founder of the Simple Life Hospitality, with a 2022 vacation rental season update. We had expected that this year we would have some reprieve after two crazy COVID years, but unfortunately it was quite a crazy year and another one for the books. So a lot of things happened this year. One, the demand in drivable distances was down over places that may have been more those places that people didn't go to for the last couple years because they weren't traveling on airplanes. So all of a sudden you're seeing those friends that had put off their trips to Europe and their trips to Florida and all these other places start to go to those places, which then had demand down, especially during the off season and the shoulder season, where there was a lot more demand the last couple of years because people still wanted a place to vacation, but they weren't flying on airplanes. So where did they go? They went to drivable distances and stayed in a vacation rental. So the demand was down quite a bit this year, 20 to 25%, and that is not isolated to the markets that we serve, but also other markets as well. So it was something that we saw. Also, you saw a big uptick in the number of properties available. So everyone caught on the bandwagon that vacation rentals are pretty cool, and they are. And so a lot of people were buying them for themselves, renting them out as a vacation rental. You were seeing investors buy up properties and getting into vacation rentals, and also people that may have had their properties already that they had never rented out before, deciding to rent their properties out. And also, people who may have had their properties closed down for a couple of years to rentals may have started renting out again. So you did see a big uptick in supply of properties. So demand down, supply up, that tends to not be a great combination. So we did see revenues per property or individual properties come down, especially properties that were in probably year 2 or 3 or more in 2022. That was a record-breaking year for the entire industry. To 2021, where it started to come back towards pre-pandemic levels. However, we saw a big uptick from 2019, from before the pandemic, to 2022. So we're actually doing much better. However, if you were enjoying 2022, which we all were, but 2021 rather, 2022 numbers did not meet 2021 numbers in a lot of cases. If you were a first year property in 2021, 2022 might have been a better year because of being a second year property and having reviews and all the things that help a property in a second year do better. So what other things happened? So we also saw a lot of towns take up ordinances. So there is some irresponsible vacation rental management happening. People managing their properties on their own, or property managers that may not be doing a very good job. And there were some irresponsible people out there, and that caused some issues. And so towns were taking up different types of ordinances. Some were limiting capacity of properties. Some had increased fees to participate, more onerous permits to apply for, town boards to attend, all these different things that were in previous years not a requirement. So minimum capacity, or if a maximum capacity in the past was 10 for one property, and then you had to shrink it down to 6 because of the restrictions that were put in place. And you also had to have a minimum a night stay. That also was a double whammy for some of our properties that had reduced capacity and also had to have a minimum stay. Because the evidence that we've seen is that a 2-night minimum is actually where the revenue tends to be maximized. And going for 6 or 7 nights, where some of these ordinances are going towards, those are not, people aren't always able to go for a week. So you do see revenue for a property go down quite a bit when you do have those kinds of restrictions. So those were a few things that happened. But not only that, we also had increased fuel costs. So people had to spend a lot more money to drive to vacation destinations. And you also saw inflation. So there's been a lot that's been going on in 2022. So I wish I could say what was going to happen in 2023. We're tracking ahead of 2022, but who knows? But the good thing is what we see, or what we've been told, that in a recession that vacation rentals tend to do pretty well, because one, people who are going to cut back on spending, but they still want a vacation, they're going to go to a drive-to distance instead of a destination, instead of going and flying to those lavish vacations that they may do. So instead of going and flying to California, Florida, Hawaii, they might just stay closer to home and drive there. So that'll save on airfare for them. And then vacation rentals can be less expensive when you split it between the cost of different folks, being able to eat in instead of eating out all the time. There's some really big advantages for that. Also, since the recession that happened in 2008, vacation rentals have become super popular. I don't think Airbnb even existed back then. So that there's not a lot of data out there that says, oh, this is how they did during the previous big recession, but there's evidence to say this has become a more popular mode of travel, significantly more popular mode of travel. COVID really helped to introduce people to a different method of traveling through Airbnb and VRBO, vacation rentals, than in a hotel where they had to be around other people and they couldn't, they had to go out to eat and stuff like that. So it was introduced as a new mode of traveling for a lot of people, and that's now how they operate. So there's a lot of positive things about vacation rentals. Then the interest rates went up. That's another fabulous thing that's gone on. So people who are buying vacation rentals, the numbers are a little bit harder to make work from an investment standpoint. So lots of different things going on. Vacation rentals still remain a very strong industry, but there's definitely been some challenges in 2022. And I'm hoping that 2023 is that year that we get some reprieve. Let this be a crystal ball or a fortune teller, that we will hopefully see a easier 2023. But we as a company are always on top of it, looking at different trends, trying out different things, trying to become more efficient, and do different kinds of promotions and work with different consultants to get ourselves so that we're on top of it. And the thing is, a lot of this is out of our control, but we do our best to try to make things as best as we can for both our owners and our travelers. So that is the update. If you are someone who is looking to invest in vacation rentals, don't have one yet, I do have a course that is available, how to invest in vacation rentals. And also, if you are someone who has a property that you want to have someone looking to managing, we can give you a call and just let you know that, what the options are and see if it's a good fit for you. So signing off, have a great evening and happy holidays.